This is a patient from Oklahoma who is very unhappy with his vision with a Panoptix Toric lens, despite having a perfect plano refractive outcome. He does have significant vitreous floaters and he has some posterior capsule opacity, but really he's never been happy with this lens from the start, and he has it in the other eye and isn't happy either. So here we're marking the axis that his current lens is on. We place pars plana trocars. We make a clear cornea incision with a 2.75 millimeter keratome. And we're going to go ahead and visco dissect the bag open using 26 gauge LASIK cannula. Here I'm gumming from each side and trying to get under the anterior capsule and fill the capsular bag so I can free up these haptics and take the lens out safely. And this lens comes out really pretty easily, even though it's been in the eye for about a year. So we bring this side up out of the bag, bring the other side up out of the bag, and don't have too much difficulty. And now we're going to go ahead, cut the lens in half and remove it as per my usual technique. I make sure there's plenty of viscoelastic behind the lens so I don't damage any structures, and I pay attention as I'm cutting to make sure I don't hit the iris or anterior capsule. As I pull the lens out, I'm going to protect the back of the cornea. There's one side coming out and now the other side. And so now we're going to go ahead and place our new monofocal toric lens and try to put it on the same exact axis that the previous lens was on. But what we notice here is that the proximal haptic, the one closest to me, simply does not want to unfold. And that's because the tunnel that I pulled the old haptic out of is still in the way and blocking that haptic from unfolding. So I'm going to rotate the lens past that tunnel and see if I can rotate it around and get the lens onto the proper axis. But when I try to do this, when I try to rotate the lens, again, the lens haptic, although it's unfolded, it will push against that tunnel of fibrosis, and that decenters the lens. So the lens just simply will not center. So I do play around with this a bit and try pushing on it, and I try injecting some viscoelastic after I push on it a bit to see if I can reopen the capsular bag in this area. But this is simply not centering no matter what I do. Here I'm injecting some more viscoelastic, pushing on the lens, but the lens remains really decentered, and this is not going to provide a good outcome for this patient. So what I'm going to do is rotate the lens haptic past the tunnel, and you can see here I'm pushing it past the tunnel, and I'm going to insert the haptic into the tunnel like a key into a lock. Here I am inserting the haptic into that fibrotic tunnel, and now the lens centers well because the haptic, instead of being blocked by that fibrotic tunnel, is actually inserted into the fibrotic tunnel. And we can see that now the lens is on axis and is very nicely centered. So now, after just making sure this is nice and centered and secure, and on the proper axis, we're going to go ahead and remove the viscoelastic from the anterior chamber using a Lewicki cannula and the vitrector with the cutter off. I now switch to posterior infusion and do pars plana vitrectomy, and you can see this very turbid, cloudy vitreous being removed from behind the implant. Once I've cleared out some of this vitreous, I'm going to switch to posterior visualization and complete the pars plana vitrectomy. And this is where really you need to see what you're doing. You need posterior visualization to really do adequate posterior vitrectomy. This is the posterior vitreous detachment, the core vitreous that I'm removing now. And after I move the core vitreous, I'm going to go out to the periphery and go out 360 degrees and remove the peripheral vitreous and then come back to center. This is very severely edited to basically show the gist of what was done. This takes about 6 to 8 minutes to remove all this vitreous carefully and go out to the periphery. But this basically just gives an outline of what was done. And you can see after the vitrectomy is completed, the view is very clear. There's No more vitreous here, and all the floaters have been cleared out. We're now going to go behind the lens, remove the most anterior vitreous from right behind the posterior capsule, and create a posterior capsulectomy with the vitrector. This is really a nice way to remove the central posterior capsule in a way that avoids having to do a YAG capsulotomy, but also gives me the option of further lens exchange options down the road if I ever want to do that, because with this posterior capsulorhexis, I can remove this lens and replace it with another lens in the bag down the road if that's something that this patient requires. So I really like this posterior capsulorhexis with the vitrector technique. We now remove the trocars, and this case is completed. This patient was very happy the next day with a 20/20 outcome on day 1. Thank you for your attention.